Since you won't do anything about Zeke, then I guess I'll have to get my own hands dirty. Did Vanessa have something to do with this? She's the one who asked me to leave when I was last there. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know how I can repay you. You can repay me by placing this chip in Zio Esidor's room and putting it somewhere he can't find it. Zeke. Mr. Torres? I'm glad you remember just who you're talking to. You and I need to have a little chat. Max? Yes, Mom? Is there something you want to tell me? No, but I think there's something you want to tell me. You've been pretty quiet since you got back home. I have. Not just today. But after the event, it's like you've been trying to avoid everyone in this house. Has something happened? Harley? Hello, Lorenzo. Can I speak with my son? You know his number. What makes you think that you have any right to show up at my house after the way you acted at Theodosius' palace? May I remind you that I lived here for some time, but I didn't come here to reminisce. I came here to apologize. What's up with you, JJ? What do you mean? Ever since we got home, you've been giving me the silent treatment. How come? Vanessa, did you have something to do with Mom and Dad not wanting Keeve to come to the house anymore? What? I didn't even know that Mom and Dad wouldn't let Keeve hang out here. Don't listen to her. She's not telling you the truth. She's lying. Sorry I didn't catch you at the scholarship event. I had to step out a bit early. Because you were afraid that Harley would do to you what she did to Alan? I'm not afraid of anyone, especially your uncle's ex-wife. Speaking of your uncle, I assume that you have an update? No new information, but we might get some soon since I have his bedroom bugged. What do you need to speak with me about? What do you think, Zeke? I want to understand why you haven't dropped in the shell. And don't act like you don't know who I'm associated with. I won't act stupid, Mr. Torres. I know how you're connected to the boss. Then how come you're still dating my daughter? 'Cause I care about her. You're gonna have to come up with a better answer than that. Because if you really cared about Nichelle, then you would let her go and not place her in danger. I ain't putting Nichelle in danger. She don't know nothing about what I do. I promise you that she'll stay far away from this lifestyle. Your word doesn't mean a thing to me, Zeke. It's your actions that I'm interested in. Let me give you a fair offer. How much will it take for you to break up with my daughter? What are you doing here? Don't worry, Clarice. Our former daughter-in-law was just about to leave. Fat chance. I want to speak with my son. Like I said, as long as he still has your number, then he'll reach out to you. Otherwise, get out of my house. Mom? Alan. What are you doing here, Harley? I came here to apologize. Apologize? As if I'd waste my time listening to some sort of sorry excuse of an apology from your hateful mouth. Dad, I think we should hear Mom out. Not in this house. We all heard her out at the event she ruined. Dad, Alan might just have a point. Harley can't take back what she's done, but I'd like to see her beg on her hands and knees for forgiveness after ruining an event that was to honor Elvira. You've got 5 minutes, Harley. When I heard about the scholarship event at Theodosius' palace, I couldn't bear the very thought of Esidor being praised for anything positive after the way that he hurt me, which was 14 years ago. Instead of letting go of all that anger, you decided to ruin what was positive in the present. And I'm sorry, Clarice, but do you think that I could easily get over the fact that after spending over 5 years married to your son, he just dropped me and took my son away from me? You're acting like I cut contact between you and Alan, Last time I checked, the agreement was that I get full custody while you can receive visitation whenever you wanted. Instead, you left town and moved all the way to Tampa. As if you wouldn't have done the same thing if you were in my position. Mom, I enjoyed going to Tampa every month to see you. Don't you remember how much fun the two of us would have together? We had plenty of great adventures. And I'll always value the time we spent together. But Alan, you need to understand that I wanted to be your mother, not just the fun parent you would spend free time with. Time's up. That sounded more like an excuse rather than an apology. I'm not in the mood for your games, Vanessa. Now that's a first. I mean it. Do you expect me to believe that it's a coincidence that Mom and Dad don't want Keith here after you made him leave the last time he stopped by the house? Only because you were acting weird. Do you hear that, JJ? She thinks you're weird. Your own sister thinks you're weird. I'm not weird. Is that so? Have you not noticed how you've been acting lately? She thinks you're stupid. She thinks you're weird. You're pathetic. You're the one acting weird, Vanessa. Hey, I don't like what I'm hearing and it better stop. And you're sure that this bug is in a place that Isidore can't find it? Positive. What a relief. I'm so glad that it seems like your uncle and your cousin will pay for making my life miserable these past couple of months. Don't expect anything to happen overnight. My uncle barely spends any time in that room of his. Still, at least we've got an opportunity to see if he slips up. I'm not only doing this for you, but for Udell as well. I assume he told you that he hired me to help him with Jeremiah Dorval's case against Isidore? He did. Does that mean you told Udell about those AI video messages of Elvira? I ain't witness shell for your money. $10,000? $25,000? Mr. Torres. $45,000? $85,000? You'd make more than that sister of yours. I don't want your money. $300,000? Just stop. Zeke, I'm trying to be very kind to you. I would appreciate it if you watch your tone when speaking with me. I don't plan to sell drugs forever, Mr. Torres. I'd really like to keep Michelle in my life for a long time. What sort of drug dealers are out here these days? I really hope that my daughter really isn't dating a complete moron. Don't you realize how you can't just simply walk out of the drug game? Wow. Can you imagine my surprise that when I married into this conservative Catholic family, that I ended up being seen as something that can be disposed of rather than a human being? Once again, I'm reminded how you still refuse to acknowledge my humanity by your refusal to be forgiving. Just a bunch of hypocrites, and it makes me sick to my stomach that my son was raised by you people. Mom, you said enough. No truer words, Alan. Harley, get out of this house now. Is your name on the deed, Clarice? Mine is. Now don't make me tell you again. Fine, I'll go. Just keep in mind you're all connected to me for life. There's no way you're gonna get rid of me that easily. I really wish that the Jezebel would go back to Tampa. Nona, she's still my mother. And if she stays in town any longer, then you might not have a mother anymore, Alan. Let's just all cool off. We can't let Harley ruin the rest of our day like she ruined the event. You and I need to chat, sister-in-law. Chat about what, Isidore? Chat about whether you knew that Harley would be back in town. Mom, Dad, I don't know what Vanessa told you about Keith, but she's lying. What are you talking about, JJ? Your sister had nothing to do with the decision your mother and I made. Don't listen to them. They're not telling you the truth. They're lying to you. All of them are lying. My parents wouldn't lie to me. Kisaudi? There's really no reason to tell Udell now. I haven't gotten a message from the bootleg robot version of Elvira ever since the runway. Would you tell him if you do get another AI video message? I would prefer that I don't get another one ever again. Besides, Udell would probably blame me for the catastrophe at the runway since I kept quiet about the video messages. What about the board? Have they been giving you a hard time? Thankfully, they're not questioning whether I took Elvira's life or not. At least, not that I know of. But they're putting a lot of pressure for me to figure out where these AI attacks are coming from. Unfortunately, they're sympathetic towards your cousin after I slapped him, so I can't point the finger at Isidore and Alan without any proof, or else the board will look at me like I'm crazy. I'll figure a way out. You will? I'm all ears, Zeke. How do you plan to make it out of the trap life? I don't got a plan right now, and I doubt you'll have one as you get deeper into this sort of business you got yourself into. Since you clearly have no plan to get out, I need you to leave my daughter alone. That ain't happening. You must have not heard me correctly. I heard you loud and clear, Mr. Torres. With all due respect, I don't take my orders from you. If you got a problem with me dating your daughter, then you tell your daughter to stop seeing me. That's the only way I'll let her go. If you ain't gonna tell Nichelle to end things with me, then I ain't gonna let her go. That was a huge mistake, Zeke. I really wish you didn't make me do what I'm about to do to you. Isidore, I had no idea that Harley would come back to town. No idea at all? None. You see, Heidi, I've been trying to place all of the pieces together, and I just don't see Harley coming back to Valley Park to make a scene upsetting Alan for nothing. So what? So, I have reason to believe that someone lured her here. You talk of Harley as if she's some sort of gremlin. I don't see the difference. The first option that made sense was the Mitchells calling her to cause trouble. Except, I don't see Harley agreeing to help the same woman who slapped Alan. That caused me to think about someone else. Someone I know would want to hurt me just to get revenge. Do you know who that would be? I'm sure you're gonna tell me. Gianni. Ever since I announced that Thierry and I would get everything together for this scholarship, he hadn't gotten over it. The only time it seemed like he let it go was when I started suing Jeremiah. But again, this is my brother, your husband. No matter what I do, he would never let anything go. Isidore, it's not wise to start throwing accusations, especially when you have no proof. You're right, which is why I wouldn't be throwing accusations about you and Finnegan Burke. On top of that, I've got all the proof I need. Vanessa had nothing to do with your decision about Kiev? Not at all. I'm sorry. It's fine, JJ. JJ, did Kiev put this idea in your head that Vanessa was responsible? It doesn't matter. Sorry we didn't give you a heads up about Kiev, Vanessa. It's fine. Kiev isn't my friend, and I'm not the one who hangs out with him. Besides, it's not like any of us expected for JJ to react the way he did. What if that was our mistake? Shelly, you know that we can't let any of our kids in on what Terry Burke possibly did to me. Not that. I knew that JJ would be unhappy, but it's almost like he's become irrational. Probably because he's trying to make sense over something that we didn't fully explain. I'll see if I can speak with him again. What if he needs more than a talk? What do you mean? What if JJ needs counseling? I know that's not what I think it is.